How's it going? Today's 5th of January, Friday. We're taking a look at potential way of how to gain access to some of the supercomputers. Some of those are available within the case, some of those are being built and thought I would cover within a number of videos how people potentially can have access to some of the computers there, right? Taking a look at it, and as well as perhaps sharing some of my experience, right? I have covered quite a few of those. I thought within this video I'll skip some since I was taking a look at those already. That would be perhaps some of those areas, right? So, myself, I'm gonna go by research and development expenditure. So I'm gonna start from the top and work my way down. So that's a metric that I'll use, and taking a look and all perhaps working with some of those places, and perhaps based on who would be interested in collaborating and working together. Perhaps not all the projects would agree or working together, or some of the projects are going to be more busy than others, right? But if anything, that is sort of metric that I'll use, right? If some of those institutions are spending more and perhaps they have more opportunities and they're more active, the infrastructure is there, it might be a lot easier. Some of those institutions that if I would have to sit down and explain to everything how I like to do business and work together, it would be too much for my resources and or i.e. time, right? So there was something, for example, to put things into perspective, there's within University of Oxford, there's some computer that I have covered previously, that would be Jade, right? So most likely based on research and development expenditure within Oxford is at the first place. So perhaps the people of there would know how to work with the business, right? So that would save a lot of time, right? And from there, I would not necessarily myself, I would limit just to one, and within the video, I'm going to progress into different computers, something that's called Hub or Materials and Molecular Modeling Hub. Let's try to understand this opportunity a little bit better. I'll touch on this briefly and perhaps I would be taking a look at the process. Since accessing these computers, it might be a very hard thing to do. Myself, I'm not even, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go near it. Most likely, I'm going to find a person who is interested in doing it. So that's potentially most optimal way and use of my time, finding a person. I'll touch on the process just in a second. But first, let's touch on the perhaps. So I haven't done proper introduction to any of those projects since I don't know those projects. If I would begin working, perhaps and then I would consider recommending those projects. Other than that, well, I'm just doing research and trying to understand process and or optimizing my time. If anything, it might be some of those projects waste of time since the people up there might not be active. And they might be on holidays, which is great. What I'm looking to solve a problem as fast as I can. If those projects can do that, great. Let's work together. That's my email address. Let's work together, right? The hub, materials and molecular modeling, across traditional disciplines of physics, chemistry, material science, technology, biophysics, earth science, life science, chemical materials, and more. So the different fields, right, or core competence, perhaps of people that they're looking to work with. The hub drive science forward in each of these disciplines by speeding up and improving the quality of the predictions. The hub benefits the entire international community and our experimental and industrial collaborations. Okay, so there's a process in there. So I don't know. That's a great introduction. There's something, right? Send me a check, and we will take it from there. Uh, there might be I don't know how some of those projects would like to solve the problem, right? Sometimes they would hire a project lead to bring into, and he would run different projects and campaigns within perhaps accessing those facilities or computers, right, or hardware, right? And that perhaps might be the way how some of those facilities or research institutions within universities might be looking to operate, right? Where we would have dedicated persons. That's what I'm saying. Once they have that dedicated person, the person might be interested in launching a number of programs, right? Once the person launched a number of those, you yourself as a business or perhaps as an expert, you can express your interest in taking part in some of those programs, right? Perhaps that's the way how we're gonna do it. If not right now, perhaps it is something that we're gonna be doing in the future, right? So what I'm doing is there's an example of some of those projects, right? And there's a lot of people and organizations that taking part, right? And it's so much information to cover. There might be some names of the projects or companies, so I'll skip all of that, right? The only thing I'll mention, modeling community to establish the MMMDDVG, this was successfully awarded £223,000, right? Great. There's some they had a budget and they completed something, right? We're gonna move on. So much time. So there's some dates, right? So perhaps everything have got started 2020. They ran for 15 months, and there's stage C, which was set up 2021. Will run for 3 years. So the house is still in. It's been closed. According to that, it's been closed. What I'm saying is there might be a next round. Great. That's off the cuff, right? So December, so we might be still going, I guess. There's gonna be a next round. I wanna get fill in the paperwork, reach out to the team, shake some hands, how I can progress and take part. Right, that's what I'm saying. Am I gonna have to? Not that I wanted to. I'm gonna have to reach out to somebody that I'll touch on in just a second. Perhaps a way of going forward with any of those projects, right? Since I'm taking a look at those logos, right? So all of those logos underpinning logo of that were the engineering and or physics science research council, right? So that's underpin that might have access to all of those computers. That would save me a lot of time. So then might need to find a professional from that institute, right? So I'll touch on this process just now. Let's touch on that right now, actually. If I were to go to this institution, something that's called Engineering and Physics Science Research Council, right? So most likely that potential institute that has all the brain power, right? As well as perhaps they have funding. I'm not entirely sure where this institute is on funding, but perhaps you yourself, you might source some of the funding from here even better, right? The problem with this, they have a list of computers, supercomputers available. Great. Dates, all of those dates are over, right? So, so all the projects within those days have been started, and if anything, I don't know how to take part. I have reached out to a team just now. I've been advised that there's gonna be new projects being released in the future, right? That I need to keep checking this organization's website. So this is something that I've been advised to do as of this morning, right? While I'm doing that, I thought I will touch on another way how I'm looking to tackle this problem, right? I don't know what's the most optimal way, so I thought it's something that I think I have reached out yesterday, and I can see the same institution here. So that would be individual eligibility. So perhaps that would be individuals, right? So myself, I might be able to source. So I'm looking at lead. I need professional person, perhaps with the area of expertise for about minimum of 10 years. Something to be considered a PhD scientist, right? Why? Someone set the standards, I guess, right? So I'm gonna need to find this person, right? Where I'm gonna look for this person, most likely I'm gonna be taking a look at EPSRC. I'm gonna be taking a look at Royal Society, and I'm gonna be taking a look at Royal Academy of Engineering Fellowships, right? So perhaps the fellowships they might be even able to offer as finance, right? So if anything, I think I reached out to one of those institutions already yesterday. But again, it's holiday season, right? So not necessarily people on top of things, right? They need to come back. They need to come back to all the emails, right? So I'll try to reach out to all, to say the least, all three of these institutions, and I'm going to be looking for a person, project lead, who would be responsible, and then from there, most likely that's the most optimal one. So that project lead might need to undergo some additional training depending on what computer he would like to go and use, perhaps. I think that's the best way of working together. Then I can find another 5 or 10 people that I would need to when it comes to working with those computers, right, from those institutes that I mentioned. Great. There's a person, then that would be something, well, I don't know, safety summits and everything. Perhaps that person would need to go into a summit, I guess. As we speak right now, I'm looking to solve the problem for potentially obesity, right? So just one problem and one project. So as I mentioned, perhaps I will myself, I'm gonna be looking to manage many projects at the same time, right? And that will potentially how the process can look like for people out there, right? And this institute, perhaps they more might be interested more in solving different problems. Currently, we can take a look at perhaps energy prices within UK. This institute, perhaps or institution, organization, might be even more interested in solving that particular problem, not the one that I was highlighted within the first video today, right? So perhaps they might be interested more in those type of caliber of problems, right? So what I'm saying is, depending on what kind of projects they have, or what teams they have, and everything, right? I need to submit the project. This needs to be approved. All the processes in place. I need to find the team, build up around the team. But that's potentially an example of how to do it, right? Yourself, if you're interested in developing yourself or learning new skills, I have developed a course. Within this course, I'm taking a look at 12 fundamental areas, and I'm looking to share those areas with others, people who might be interested in learning new things, new skills, and what can be better of starting a new year, and or perhaps paying more attention at personal development. That would be very important for many people. Just name a few areas out of 12. That would be targets, goals, budget. If it's something perhaps you haven't done it before, if you got any questions, if you like more information, or if you are interested, feel free to reach out to me. If not, there's gonna be a QR code in the corner, company's website below. I have this course delivered in a number of formats. There could be a video, audio. There could be a text format. There's links there. Perhaps I can close this video or touch on management board and how this management board is looking to achieve everything what is set for itself. That really help operate effectively with fulfilling HBS training and community building objectives throughout the strategic leadership and oversight. Reports are run on the usage from our CG that runs and facility. And okay, they might be very boring actually. Now that I think about it, and that did say that would be very important. But if anything, they have set targets for themselves, right? It's something that I have touched recently on. So they got targets, and this potentially group of people gonna be working towards achieving those targets. So I don't know if there might be even a strategy somewhere. How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna perhaps introduce more industry? Since I'm taking a look at the hub management board members, all of those members are from research and perhaps universities, right? So the more of the education and or the qualification providers, right? What I'm saying is, right, so because of that, usually those people within those institutions might be out of touch from real world. That's my personal feedback, right? Because industry is what's really happening, right? But some of those people might be out of touch, and they would need to be up to date with what's happening within industry in order to offer qualifications and or education to people who are taking part. So what I'm saying is how we can work together. That's where I'm going with this, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.